Most people think saving their first $5,000 is hard because they don't make enough money. But I tracked 200 people who tried, and 97% failed for a completely different reason, one that nobody talks about. And no, this isn't about skipping coffee. If you've ever tried to save, this cycle will feel painfully familiar. Month 1, save $400. Month 2, save another $300. Month 3, car breaks down, back to 87. But here's what nobody tells you about that moment. That moment when you're back at zero, that's not where you failed. You didn't fail when the emergency happened. You failed 3 weeks earlier, when you were still at zero and didn't build what I call a shock absorber. See, there are 3 stages to saving money, and 90% of people don't even know the first stage exists. They skip straight to stage 2, which is why they keep resetting. And before I explain what these stages are, I need you to understand something. The advice you've been given about saving money, most of it was designed for people who already have money. Think about it. When someone says, invest early and let compound interest work for you, they're talking to someone in stage 3. When they say, build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months, they're talking to someone in stage 2. But nobody, and I mean nobody, tells you how to survive stage 1. Because the people giving advice, they don't remember what stage 1 felt like. They don't remember checking their bank account 3 times before buying groceries. They don't remember that feeling when your car makes a weird noise and your first thought isn't, I should get that checked. Your first thought is, please don't be expensive. That's stage 1. And it has its own rules. Stage 1 is called the zero stability zone. This is where your savings aren't actually savings. They're a defense fund. Every dollar is assigned to a future emergency you can't predict. You're not saving for a vacation. You're not saving for retirement. You're saving so that when your phone breaks, your world doesn't end. And this is why it feels so slow. You're not building wealth. You're building a buffer between you and disaster. Most people quit here because they don't realize this is supposed to feel this way. Let me give you a real example. Sarah was one of the people I tracked. She saved $1,200 over 4 months. She felt amazing. She was finally doing it. Then her dog got sick. Emergency vet bill, $850, back down to $350. 2 weeks later, her laptop died. She needed it for work, back to zero. She told me, she feels like I'm running on a treadmill. I'm exhausted, but I'm not getting anywhere. And here's what I told her. You're not on a treadmill. You're climbing a cliff. And right now, you're at the hardest part, where every handhold crumbles and you can't see the top yet. But here's the thing about cliffs. There's a point where the rock gets solid, where your grip actually holds. So when does stage 1 end? For most people, it's around $5,000. Not because that number is special, but because it's usually the first time you can take an $800 hit and not restart from zero. It's the first time an emergency feels like an inconvenience, not a catastrophe. And when that happens, stage 2 unlocks. And stage 2 is where everything you've heard about money actually starts working. In stage 2, saving starts to compound. Not financially yet, psychologically. You stop checking your bank account with anxiety. You stop doing mental math every time you're at the grocery store. You start making decisions with margin. And here's the weird part. You actually start saving faster in stage 2, even though your income hasn't changed. Why? Because you're not constantly recovering anymore. Every dollar isn't fighting fires. Some dollars can actually rest. They can sit there, grow, accumulate. But most people never get here because they misunderstand what stage 1 is for. Here's the mistake that kills momentum. People in stage 1 try to use stage 2 strategies. They invest, they optimize, they try to make their money work for them. But you can't make $200 work for you. $200 is working against chaos. Let me explain this differently. Imagine you're trying to build a sandcastle, but the tide keeps coming in. You build a wall, wave knocks it down. You build it again, another wave. Now, someone on the beach with a finished castle yells at you, you need to add decorative towers. Optimize your turret placement. And you're standing there, soaking wet, thinking, I just need the tide to stop destroying my foundation. This is why you keep resetting. Not because you lack discipline, but because you're playing the wrong game, and nobody told you there were different games. So here's the reframe that changed everything for the people I tracked. Stop measuring your progress by the dollar amount. Start measuring it by the stress you didn't feel. Did your phone crack and you didn't panic? That's progress. Did a bill come early and you just paid it? That's progress. Stage 1 isn't about getting rich. It's about getting stable. And stability is invisible until you don't have it. I'll tell you when I knew Sarah made it out of stage 1. 6 months later, her car needed new brakes, $600. She called me and said, "I'm annoyed, but I'm not panicking." That's it. That was the moment. Not when she hit $5,000, but when an emergency felt like an expense, not an existential threat. Once you cross 5,000, you enter stage 3, and stage 3 is where the rules completely change, because now you're not just saving, you're deciding. Stage 3 is where you get to ask, what do I actually want? Instead of, how do I survive this month? But you can't skip to stage 3. You have to earn it. And earning it starts with understanding where you actually are. Because here's what happens when people don't understand the stages. They compare themselves to people in stage 3. They watch someone casually drop $2,000 into index funds and think, why can't I do that? And the answer is, you're in stage 1 and they're in stage 3. It's not a moral failing, it's not a discipline problem, you're just playing a different game right now. Here's what nobody tells you. Stage 1 takes the longest. For most people, it takes 8 to 14 months to save that first $5,000. And it should, because you're not just building money, you're building a system. You're building habits. You're building proof that you can do hard things. Stage 2 takes 6 months to a year, because once you have stability, momentum builds naturally. Stage 3? You'll be there faster than you think, but it all starts with surviving stage 1. And surviving stage 1 requires something that nobody talks about. It requires you to redefine what success looks like. Success in stage 1 isn't hitting a number, it's hitting a feeling. The feeling of, I can handle this. If you're in stage 1 right now, you're not behind, you're not failing, and you're definitely not broken. You're in the hardest stage, the stage where progress is invisible, where every dollar fights against chaos. But here's what I know. Everyone who made it to stage 3 felt exactly how you feel right now. The only difference between them and the people who quit, they understood what stage they were in. They didn't quit during the invisible progress. They just kept going. 1 month at a time, one emergency at a time, one small win at a time. And eventually, without even noticing exactly when, they weren't in stage 1 anymore. So, here's what I want you to do. If you're in stage 1 right now, grinding through the hardest part, comment stage 1. If you've made it to stage 2, where things start clicking, comment stage 2. And if you're in stage 3, comment stage 3 and tell us what that feels like. Because here's the truth. You're not alone in this. Thousands of people are in stage 1 right now, fighting the same fight, feeling the same frustration. And I'm here to tell you, it does get easier. Not because saving gets easier, but because you get stronger. Not because life stops throwing emergencies, but because emergencies stop feeling like the end of the world. I read every single comment, and you'll see you're not alone in this. Stage 1 is hard, but it's supposed to be, and you're exactly where you need to be. Thanks for watching. Please comment your stage below.